So let's jump straight into it here on the Bitcoin Crosby ratio chart we have here on bitcoinmagazinepro.com. Now today we're going to be looking at how you can better utilize confluence between metrics and looking at it from a slightly different perspective to improve your accumulation and distribution of Bitcoin. Now, at the minute, it's kind of that no man's land period between Christmas and New Year where no one really knows what day it is and we're all just kind of plodding along waiting for New Year, waiting for 2026. But what we're going to be looking at is this Crosby ratio, and we have it here on TradingView. If you're a site subscriber, you get access to it. It works on all different time frames, all different assets, etc. And all I've done here is just very quickly tweak it so it does look a little bit different here, starting in 2015, and it's just going to be buying 0.1%, selling 0.1%. You can see it doesn't really make sense to do this. It did work fairly well, but that's not what we're going to be focusing on today. So this is just the daily Crosby ratio, what we get on the site, and we can see it's worked pretty well, accumulating at the lows, distributing at the peaks. But sometimes it doesn't get it quite perfect. We can see at times it's potentially selling a little bit too early, such as back here. It's potentially at times accumulating a little bit too early, or on different dips it's not accumulating quite enough. How can we change this? I must have said and talked about confluence a million different times on the channel. So you may be thinking, oh, we can just add different indicators, different metrics. Of course we can. I think that's a great way to do it. You certainly should be doing that. One thing we also need to acknowledge is confluence works across timeframes. We looked on the daily time frame like it was before, it worked pretty well. If you look down the daily time frame, which is a slightly different one, if I press it here, on the weekly time frame, we can see rather than getting good intra-cycle accumulation distribution opportunities, it pretty much got cycle peaks and bear market lows as they occurred. Worked very, very well. What we're going to be looking at instead is dropping it down. So you may be looking at the weekly to decide, are we in a bull market, are we in a bear market, are we at macro lows or macro highs? But what we can do is drop it down to lower time frames. And I know what you're thinking, Matt, you've done this before. Nothing new here. This is boring content. But just you wait. Rather than just looking at on one time frame, what we can do is adjust these metrics to look at it on multiple time frames. So if I instead add the 4-hour, 12-hour and daily into one, what we can see, this darkest orange line is the daily time frame. Sometimes it reacts a little bit too slow. Sometimes it doesn't react enough. So what we can do is these two slightly more transparent, more translucent metrics we have back here, which are the 4-hour and 12-hour, give us some better insight. So for example, this very faint orange line here, this very thin, faint one, pretty much marked the nice major high we had in this move, even when the other two were lagging behind it. And as Bitcoin was bottoming out down here, we could see maybe on the 4-hour you'd have been accumulating very lightly, but because we didn't have confluence from the 12 and daily, didn't work so well. Back here as well, you were buying on the daily, but the 12-hour actually didn't reach this lower level, so you wouldn't have bought this long signal here. You'd have actually waited, and then back here the 12 and the 4 were down, but you wouldn't have bought because the daily wasn't there. And once we actually finally get all of them beneath, which isn't actually indicated on this chart, what we can see is it pretty much marked, well, it did mark the exact low we had in price action, which was right around here. It's not drawn between them, but right around there. Perfect signal. Following that, we had a fairly strong bounce in the Bitcoin price action. So what we can do is look for confluence across multiple timeframes, but of course we're going to take it a step further than that. Rather than looking at all of these three different lines, which, you know, it works, but it's not the most obvious, what if we just average them out? And what we can see is suddenly, where we're not getting signals on the daily time frame, we're getting amazing signals when we aggregate them and look for confluence through multiple different time frames. Rather than buying and selling a little bit too early or a little bit too late, we're actually getting pretty much the perfect signals to be buying and selling the Bitcoin price action. It's been a long year, folks. It's been a long year. We're still marching on. 2026 is just around the corner. But what we can do, again, take it one step further. Rather than just looking for multiple time frame confluence on one metric, we can look to this, the retail capital momentum, something we discuss fairly regularly on the weekly site subscriber list. What this is doing is looking at the change in dominance within the stablecoin market. So we can see when this massively spikes to the upside, it should almost be inverted. It indicates that a vast majority of capital within the cryptocurrency markets are actually rotating out of stablecoins. This is almost like a fear and greed index, but measured through monetary action rather than pure sentiment. So we can see when this is massively to the downside, it indicates people are rotating into safe haven assets. Stablecoin dominance is increasing, Bitcoin is maybe losing some dominance, which again, we want to act as a contrarian. So that actually looks as a pretty good accumulation opportunity, but Doesn't work perfectly all the time. That's fine. What we can do is look for confluence across multiple different timeframes. So what you can do, look on the weekly. Are we in a bull or a bear cycle? Look on the daily. Okay, are we approaching accumulation levels? Great. What I can do, add on the 4-hour, 12-hour. Should maybe make these lines might be a little bit easier to see. And then that way, what I can do is actually say, okay, the 4-hour is pointing towards maybe a slight local peak in price action, but I'm not getting confluence from the 12-hour or daily. Okay, it might just be a pause before a continuation. Or you might be seeing accumulation signals from the daily, but it's not supported by the 4-hour or 12-hour, and it's not until they all provide the same signal that actually acted as the perfect accumulation opportunity within the market. And again, what we can do, average these out. And if we do that, again, this has worked pretty much perfectly throughout the entire cycle for Bitcoin. And again, other altcoins as well, if you're that way inclined, because they're all involved in the crypto industry. As I said, it's been a long year. It's been a long year. But we can see this has worked pretty much to perfection throughout this entire Bitcoin market cycle. And again, if we're looking at confluence from multiple timeframes and pairing that with confluence from multiple different metrics, things are going to work quite well. So just to summarize, everyone is probably sick of me talking about looking for confluence when it comes to investing. However, confluence comes in many different flavors. And as always, we can take things one step further to really maximize our accumulation and potentially distribution, like I said, if you're that way inclined. And again, this doesn't just work in Bitcoin. If you're a site subscriber, which you should be, you get access to all of these TradingView indicators, which you can actually implement on all of the charts, all of the markets. You can take this to whatever level you're playing. But what we can see is just looking at the daily time frame or just looking at the weekly data can potentially lag or be delayed, and the shorter time frames may fire a little bit too quickly. They might fire off just before we actually want that finishing signal. So if we can combine micro and macro time frames as well as data from multiple different sources, it massively increases the probability that we can catch these extreme periods of price action. Like I said, it's been a long 2025. I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas and have a wonderful New Year. As always, leave a like and comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you're not a site subscriber, why not? Standard sales pitch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.